You want to put that name down. It was one of the main bases over there. And what am I talking about?
The family?
What was the question again?
The family that you met in
Oh,
Italy.
yeah. And on days off, which were not many, but when days where the weather was too bad to fly, we would go to Foggia, and I used to go with my close friends. I must say that some of the flying crew. I haven't said this to much people, but some of them hated the Italians because they were fighting us. Well, I guess that's a good reason. I never felt that way because I knew the people I saw were not. And so my best buddy Frank Cook and I met a family in Foggia. I don't know how we found them. We used to take some food in for them. They were all slowly just about starving. The food was so short for them. And we would take food from the base, nothing big. We might take a couple of apples or something like, or if we could get a loaf of bread, that was the thing that they really loved. And we would take it. And well, we met this one family, I forgot their name, in Foggia, and so we would go visit them, and believe it or not, they learned a little English, and we learned a little Italian, and we could carry on a conversation. And one of the things they wanted to know, where was the last mission we flew, well, before we had the mission, and they were very interested. They had papers, but we would tell them how our mission was and what we hit. We knew that wasn't going to get anywhere. There wouldn't be any scariness. I mean, everybody knew where we went, and they always had the fighter planes were always there to meet us. But anyway, this family had I think that the father was a carpenter, and the mother did sewing at home for something, and they had a little boy at 12, and so the mother stayed home with the 12-year-old boy, and the schools were messed up. Were, what do you call it? Discombobulated is another word. No, well, the schools in Italy were certainly hurt by the war, and every time we bombed them, they had to pull the children out of schools, and so what was I talking about?
The family, the little boy.
The family?
The little boy in the family.
Oh, yeah, the little boy. Oh, yeah. I met this family. I went to town, and we always took a little food because the Italians were really starving. And one day, I was standing with a good friend Frank Cook on a corner, just looking around, seeing how things were going. And a little boy came up who was, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12, something like that, and asked for some food. And this was the early part of the war. Later, lots of people asked us for food. But this little boy, well, he was 12, and so we had some extra food, a little extra food, not much, and we gave him a little, and he said, By that time we knew a little Italian, and so he asked us would we come to his house to meet his mother, and we did, and it was nice. His father was there also. His father was not a soldier, and we met. Oh, he also had a couple of sisters and brothers, all 12, 14, not too old, and they invited us in, and I was with my buddy Frank Cook. We were together all the time, and we enjoyed having. I guess we had tea. We had some tea, and they had some weird bread, and so we gave them what we had. And that really started that, and it also got other people in our squadron were also taking food to town, because it's a good way to meet the people there, and they needed it. They were I don't say they were starving, but they were hungry, and anyway, so we met this little boy who was about. Well, I guess he's 12 or something like that, and he could speak a little English, just a little, and he said that he had learned it at school, and by that time, because we kept going to town, we had learned enough to speak a little Italian. I mean, we could carry on a sort of a conversation that was.
Could we go back a bit to what to when you joined the Air Force?
When I joined?
Yeah, when you joined the Air Force, how did you stay in contact with family and people back at home?
What are you saying?
When you were in the war, how did you stay in contact with people at home?
Oh, by letters.
By letters?
Yeah, and they were very good about it too. They had planes going back all the time. Empty planes, because they came over filled with supplies, and they took just things like letters, and that was a big part. Now that you mention it, that was a big part of what they did. And we were stationed near Foggia, Fogg.